You just mentioned 30 years. This is a key word for me. Exactly 30 years ago, you released the first Smokie album. Some people say, well, this might be a good occasion to do something together as Smokie again.
Yeah.
Will you?
No, I don't think so. I mean, that's a question that keeps coming up. You know, it's been coming up always. It's always, you know, for the last 15 years, people have been saying, are you going to get back to, you know? I don't think so. I mean, we've certainly got nothing planned. And I can't see it happening, really, because, you know, Terry's in the new Smokie, what I call the new Smokie. And with five of them, him and four other guys, go out and work regularly as Smokie. Pete's not really interested. Pete Spencer, the drummer, is not really interested in doing it big time. And I think if you're going to go for it, you have to go for it big time. Like make an album, do a big tour, be prepared to be away. I don't think Pete really wants to do that. And also, you know, and Alan's doing his own thing, and there's a problem, I think, as well as with whether how would we work together. It's been a long time since we all four of us worked together. We've all got our own ways, and you know, we might end up finding it very difficult to be doing things because people say, no, we don't do that. I do it like this. And I'm saying, no, I do it like this. And we know we could end up, you know, falling out, and I don't want that. We're friends now. We did go through some bad periods of time, but we're all friends now again, and I like it. It's better to be friends, I think, and keep the memory. I don't think we could ever redo it again anyway.
Well, last year for this comeback show, you met again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was great. Now that was fantastic because, I mean, I hadn't seen them for a while anyway. I mean, I've seen them separately, not together anyway. But and then I didn't know they were going to do that. That was a surprise for me for the comeback show. So that was I found out in the day of the afternoon because I was rehearsing for that show, and I knew I was doing 3 songs. I was doing the single Amazing, and I think there was another song I was doing. Or was it just 2? I can't remember. But anyway, the other one was Lay Back in the Arms of Someone. And I was going to do it on my own, I thought. And then when we got on the set, there was a set of drums there. So I thought, what's a bit strange? Why would they put a set of drums there? That's a bit odd. So then I said, what's this drums? What's all this about? So then I found out. So I was surprised because I thought, you know, it's going to be so difficult to get everybody together. Because it's a big, logistically, you've got to bring them all, fly them over in, and, you know. And it turned out they were staying in the same hotel as me for 2 days. I didn't even know they were there. So I saw them and I didn't, even though I found out in the afternoon they weren't at the studio, so I didn't see them until just before the show, about 8 o'clock, so 7:30 or something, just before the show. They all came into the backstage, you know, the green room area. And yeah, it was great. It was nice to see everybody. So we went on stage and did it together, and it was good fun. It made me laugh. I kept laughing all the time. I looked, this is funny. But it was good fun, and there was a few tears, you know, emotions going and stuff. And we went out afterwards to the after-show party and had a few drinks, which was good. So it was a nice day. But I think to do it one day is great, you know, but to do it on a permanent basis might not work so good. So if we were to come back together at all, it would probably be, if we all agreed, to do like a special thing, like a charity thing or something, or some kind of a special concert in aid of something. Maybe then we might do it, but to do it on a permanent basis, no, I don't think so.
Well, nearly the same Peter Gabriel says when he was asked about reunite Genesis again. He said, well, would you like to relive your youth for the second time? No.
Yeah. So you can't do it, I don't think. You know, it's like going back to somewhere that you remember so well, and you say, oh, we had such a great time there, and you get there and it's not as nice as you thought it was, you know. I think that's a worry, you know, to go back. You're never going to relive that because it was a special time, a special moment for us, you know. And to get that going again, I don't think it'd really work. We're all different people now.
Well, explaining to a very young kid what Smokie were about, what's your answer today?
Well, we were a real group as opposed to a manufactured group. We were a real group who went to school together, grew up together, and found out we had the same interest in playing music together. So we started that way. And then did the rounds. We played everywhere. We started off in clubs in the north of England and then went into, you know, did every kind of venue you can think, did dance halls, cabaret, rock venues, everything you can think of we played, which was a great experience because by the time we'd been going a few years, we could play just about everything. You know, we had an idea of how to play just about nearly every kind of music. So we were a real band. We had great harmonies. The three of us at the front had a natural harmony thing, which we just had from the day one. It was always there. We were like, you know, we used to do a lot of stuff in the early days, like from the Beatles or those kind of things with harmonies in. And then people like Crosby, Stills and Nash, who were harmony groups. So we had this tight harmony sound, which we all had voices that matched together, and we had this really good tight harmony sound. We were all decent players, probably better than a lot of people thought we were because of the stuff we were doing. We actually all were decent players, all about the same standard of playing, which was good. And we were a good little rock band, you know. We were a good little rock band, and then we got involved in the record deal we were in, and started making hits. And I think some of the hits we had gave people the wrong impression of what kind of a band we were, because we kind of moved from being more rocky, which we were, like a rock harmony, like a Crosby, Stills Nash, Creedence Clearwater type mixture. We went from that to being kind of a bit softer, West Coast kind of Eaglesy, and then a bit more country thing with the Alice and everything. So people got the wrong impression of what we were, and because we were youngish and boyish looking, we became like a teen band, which was fine by us. You know, we were, you know, the Beatles were a teen band, so it was okay. If it was good enough for the Beatles, it was good enough for us. So, but we were a good band. The Smokie were a good band in the 70s, really good band. Good tight band, and knew each other well, so that helped. And we had all this experience to draw upon, which was good for us.
Well, looking back onto your career, is there a certain moment or a certain experience or whatever event you always will remember something very special? I think you experience a lot of things over the years.
Yeah, I mean, there are a few, you know, there's always more than one because, you know, you do so many things. You know, you could say the first time we had the first hit was like, I remember being in the studio in Paris. We were doing Changing All the Time album, which was the second Smokie album. And we were in Paris, and so far we hadn't had a hit yet. We were still, you know, it's not happening, you know. And we got a call in the studio to say that the record, If You Think You Know How to Love Me, which was the first single, had done the day before something like 1,000 copies in one day. And previous to this, you got to understand, we'd only done like maybe 300 copies for a whole album or a whole single. That was the total we'd ever done. So to get a call and say, the record did 1,000 copies yesterday, was like, oh, what does that mean, you know? And Mike Chapman, who was our producer, said, it means you've got a hit, because when you start having, that's in a day, I said, yeah, but what if it doesn't sell anything tomorrow? Anyway, the next day we got a call, it did 800, and the next day it did 900, then the next day it did 2,000, and suddenly we got a hit, you know. And that was a fantastic feeling because we were in Paris, it was summer. We were young and we went out and that was a great moment. So there's lots of those. Hearing the record, that same record on the radio for the first time, I remember being out on in a little Mini that I had on a Sunday and driving out with Linda, my wife. We went out to somewhere and put the radio on and it came on. And now number 63, it was like number 63 in the UK charts. It's, you know, great. So those things I remember, and things like playing in Vienna. I remember doing an arena in Vienna, and there was like 15,000 people there. This was obviously a little bit later on from there, and they all lit cigarette lighters or matches or something. And it's the first time I'd ever seen that happen. This was about 1977, something like that. And to look out at all these little pinpricks of light, the whole arena was like that. It was amazing. I got like a shiver, you know. Fantastic. So, you know, there's loads and loads of things, you know. If we had more time, I could sit here, we could talk about so many, you know. But That's a good thing. It's a fortunate thing to be. You know, I'm in a privileged job, really, because you do get a lot of good things happen to you.
How would you define your position today as a musician?
Well, I'm like experienced. I've been around for a long time. I've been doing it now since I was like 15, so I'm now 54, so that's a long time, you know. And I guess that experience sort of shows in what I do now, and I feel that I'm fit and healthy enough to keep doing it for a long time, and I think I'm better at it now than I've ever been. So I think my voice is still okay, thankfully. So yeah, that's what position I'm in, and I'm lucky enough to be sort of still in demand to a certain extent with fans and the public. So it's great.
Absolutely. Well, looking at the scene, musically speaking, right now, do you like what you hear, what's going on outside? Do you take any notice of it at all?
Yeah, I do. I like some of it, and I don't like other parts of it. You know, it's like, but that's always been that way. You know, I've never liked everything that was out, even during the 60s or the 50s or the 70s. And there's never been any time when I've liked everything. I don't like sort of music that's aimed for young kids, you know, 12-year-old kids, obviously, because it's not my kind of thing. I don't like sort of, you know, Atomic Kitten, Kylie Minogue type music, because it's not my thing. I'm not saying it's not good, because it's good for what it is, but it's not my thing. But there are good acts around, and you know, Coldplay, great band, great albums. Travis, Robbie Williams makes some good stuff. You know, he's kind of a sort of just he's kind of poppy, but not quite poppy. And I like him. I think he does some good stuff. He's made some good records. I don't like everything he does, but he's made some good records. There are a lot of people out there that are good. Red Hot Chili Peppers, and there's a lot of good bands. It's not like there was a time a few years ago when I was a bit. If you'd have asked me that question, I would have said, no, there's not really anybody I like, because there was a period when there wasn't many. But nowadays, I think there's a lot more bands have come out, and I like bands. You know, I like people who go out and play guitar and sing. That's what I like, or play piano, whatever they're going to play. Norah Jones, I like a lot. I think she's really good. I mean, that's a different kind of thing again, but really cool. I like to listen to her stuff, especially late at night.